Today, it's a Disney movie showdown.
Let's unpack the magic.
Welcome to another episode of the Team Unicorn podcast. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Sammy.
And today we've got a really fun episode planned for you. We are going to dive into some Disney movies. More specifically, we're going to pit some Disney movies that we know and love against one another and see if we can figure out which movie survives the test. But before we do that, we're going to take it back a little bit here and just talk about growing up. What was watching Disney movies like? What were our experiences? What did we enjoy growing up? What was your favorite movie growing up?
Yeah, we definitely grew up on Disney movies. We watched a lot of like pre-Renaissance movies. The Rescuers, Oliver and Company, The Fox and the Hound.
Like all those movies from like maybe like the late 70s and 80s.
Yeah, we grew up on those. I would say my favorite growing up was probably Beauty and the Beast. That
Good to know.
just
Good
really,
to know.
yeah. I just remember really loving that movie. I also really wanted Belle's dress growing up, but my mom never got it for me, so that's okay. But
It's weird. I remember growing up, like obviously I watched movies from the Disney Renaissance.
Oh, for sure.
You know, those 90s movies,
Yeah.
early 2000s, that kind of period in there where like everything was just clicking on full gears with Disney, and they're just the greatest movies.
Absolutely.
But like I don't remember like really watching like The Fox and the Hound or Oliver and Company or, you know, any of those other movies from like the 80s. I remember watching like a lot of Land Before Time, actually.
Oh, we watched that too.
Like I don't like vividly remember watching anything Disney specific before. I think it was probably Aladdin.
Okay.
Because I think Aladdin was like my first movie going to see in the theaters. My mom could probably like find a ticket stub from that in a baby book or something. But I think that was probably the first movie I saw growing up as a kid. But then I don't remember specifically. Like I don't remember Little Mermaid because that came out before I was born. I think that came out in '89. So like I don't remember anything up before that. But then it was like a lot of Aladdin, The Lion King. I remember like Hunchback pretty vividly growing up.
Yeah, I remember that one being scary.
That was a super
that's
dark
all I
movie.
remember.
Like, and I think that's a really good thing to kind of get into, like watching movies today as an adult.
Yes.
Like you don't pick up on a lot of things that happened in those movies that you just kind of like are watching as a kid.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people throw in like, oh, you don't get the jokes as a kid, which understandable, like you're a kid. But in regards to like the Hunchback, like there's a lot of dark content in that movie. And like I said, I remember it being scary. And I think that's probably why. But then, yeah, watching it as an adult, like I'm just like, this is really a kids movie? It's an animated kids movie?
Right. And I think that they probably got, I don't want to say backlash, but there was probably a lot of parents that probably didn't really like what was going on with that movie growing up. Because I remember like Frollo, like he was like the villain. He was the big bad. Like he seemed like a very bad guy. But I know when the pandemic hit in 2020, like we went through and just watched Disney movies. Like that's all we were doing. And that was probably the first time in a really long time that either of us had watched that movie again. And just watching it then and now, I'm just kind of like, this is just like you get hellfire, and you're a demon going to hell, and like you are just like the worst type of sinner. You are ugly. You need to hide your face. And I'm just kind of like, I don't remember this at all as a kid.
I
remember the jester guy, and I remember the cool gargoyles. But other than that, like I don't remember like this beaten and damned like narrative that Frollo was having with Esmeralda throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, and it just really brings up a lot of adults content, I feel like, with like, you know, racism and being
just different in general.
Yeah, like you're being punished for being different in a more cruel way than I think is presented in most Disney movies at that time.
Right. And you just brought up racism, and I think that's a really good point. Like now being an adult and seeing these movies as an adult for the first time, a big one that kind of touched on a lot of those topics, like cultural topics, was Zootopia.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I remember watching that, and there was a specific scene, I think, where Nick is working with the mayor's assistant, Meriwether.
Mhm.
And they're both in there, and he wants to touch her hair. And I just remember having like thinking to myself, like this is more than just a fox wanting to touch a sheep's hair. Like this was a comment on different type of hair with different type of cultures, and I'm just like, that's something that like a little kid is not going. They're just gonna laugh at the joke, like, oh, he wants to touch a sheep's
Yeah.
head.
Mhm.
But then I'm like, okay, there's a lot of other things, or with the characterization between the foxes and bunnies in general, and how it
Yeah.
definitely seemed not that it was segregated, but like it was definitely like, you have your own place in this community,
Yep.
we have our own place, we think that you're better, a lot of stereotypes that got thrown around in that.
A lot of stereotypes and
So I think it's nice going in with, I guess an older mind and a lot more cultured and
very
um,
open.
open experience or
Yeah.
open mind to
Yep.
everything, that you're not going to catch a lot of that if you're a kid. Granted, like these movies aren't just geared towards kids, they're geared towards everyone and families, but I think it really opens up a lot of minds when you're kind of expecting just like a kids movie or an
Yeah,
animated
just
movie,
like a
and then you're
cute
like,
movie
oh,
and then
like that's something that we kind of need to talk about. That's a
yeah.
cultural topic that is prevalent or relevant to today's
Yeah.
conversation.
And I think that's what's really awesome about Disney movies, especially recent ones like Zootopia, because it really helps to open up that conversation and present itself in a more viable way to have healthier conversations around sensitive topics.
Right. And I think that Disney is trying to get better at it. I think there's a
Yeah.
long way for them to go. I think Zootopia was a pretty good start to it, but then
Yeah.
it kind of hasn't seemed to be a whole lot of like blatant type of conversation starters. I know that recently in Onward, there was um, a lesbian cop
Oh, yeah, the
that was
police
in a police
officer.
officer.
Mhm.
And I don't think it was just kind of like a throwaway joke or not a joke, even just a throwaway comment that I don't think probably a lot of people really cared about or really thought too much about. But I'm like, oh, okay, there's representation there.
Yeah, and it's just so slight, and it's like, "Give us more." Like, we want everybody to, like, be able to see themselves in these movies, and it's just I feel like it's such a long time coming, and they're, like, slowly doing it, and I just love it when they add that different stuff because we didn't grow up on any of that stuff. Like, I mean, we had Pocahontas, and that was
That's a very whitewashed version of what
whitewash.
happened.
Yes, for
And
sure,
not to
and
say that we need to get into like politics or make these
yeah.
movies political or anything, but it's just more or less, we want to make sure that everyone, not just including us, feels represented or feels like it's their time to shine. And I think
Yeah.
that Disney, and I think maybe the entire umbrella of Disney, is starting to do that, especially kind of in like the Marvel section. And I know we got some cool Disney stuff coming up on the horizon with Lightyear, has a couple little bits of representation in it. There's a
Yeah.
lot more cultural and religious what's the word I'm looking for, kind of exposure
Yeah, and
in a lot of
representation.
representation
Yeah.
in a lot of upcoming Marvel content. So I'm very excited to see where this is. I think we're right on that precipice of starting to open up those floodgates of conversation a little bit more.
Yeah, and I'm here for it. I love it. Like, I think getting to experience things from different points of view just makes you a better, like, listener and viewer and I don't know, just everything. Like, I don't wanna, like, be in, like, a tunnel or anything like that. Like, I wanna be exposed to everything and
Well, it's a good thing that you're like that, because I think today's
yeah.
main episode topic is really going to get us out of our comfort zone a little bit. Maybe
A
not
lit
so much politically or
Yeah.
culturally or anything, but we're gonna open up um, today's episode with a Disney movie showdown.
So excited. So for today, we have 8 categories of movies. Each category has 3 films.
3 films.
You can only pick one.
And the other 2 you can't watch anymore.
Yes.
You can't. They're still there. You know that they're there, but you can't watch them
can't
anymore. You
watch
can
them
only
anymore.
pick one. We've decided to break the categories down into different themes or different like categories here. The 8 categories that we are going to be choosing films from are princess movies, adventure movies, favorite music or soundtrack, Disney Renaissance era, animal movies or animal-led movies,
Yeah.
anything with magic movies, live action films, and the underrated films.
Yes.
So we have, like you said, we got those 8 categories. We both have picked 3 films for each category to present to one another.
Yep.
Neither of us know what the other one has chosen, and our job is to pick one that we're going to keep. And then the other person's job is to try to pick which one we think that they're going to keep.
Yes. So we kind of made it into a game.
Little game here.
Yeah.
We'll take some points, but it'll just be for fun.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see if I can. I want a high score. I think I know you well enough that
Yeah.
I think I know what movies you're gonna. But we made these hard for one another.
Yeah, I think so too. And I don't know. I'm pretty proud of the movies that I put in some of these categories. So I'm excited to see what you think of a couple films that I put in, the
Definitely.
certain categories. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fun little challenge game thing for us to play. And yeah, I'm excited to get started.
All right, let me get my notes out here.
Okay, yeah.
Do you want me to go first?
Sure. You can
I'll go with the first category, and then we'll go back and forth.
Okay.
With the same category.
Yeah, that
sound like a
sounds
plan?
good. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let me pull up my notes here.
Yeah.
You at home can see them, but she can't.
No.
All right. So do you want to go down the list as the same categories, or
yes.
do you want? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So my first category here is princess movies.
Okay.
All right.
Starting off strong.
Sammy.
Yes.
Between these 3 movies, you can only keep one of them.
Okay.
First movie is Tangled.
Okay.
Second movie is Moana.
Okay.
And the last movie is The Princess and the Frog.
Oh, okay. It's Tangled.
Is it Tangled?
It is Tangled.
And why?
Well, I just love Punzi. Like I know we've kind of had this conversation before, like who our favorite princess is.
Mm-hmm.
We could just have to pick one. And I always come back to her. I think she's just super relatable for me. Like just being like locked up in her tower, and she has her routine that she does.
I don't lock her up in a tower.
No,
she gets to go out freely. She's not like, I don't want this to like, you don't need to call anybody. Like we're not,
no, I'm just,
she's free.
No, I'm just saying, like, she just has, like, her routine up there, and she decides to, like, go on her own adventure, and, I think, like, I kind of get into that, like, where I'm just, like, in my own routine and stuff, and I think it just, she just kind of shows you can have fun, or, like, change your life, or, like, just have fun if you step out of your comfort zone. So I think
you also have magical glowing hair too,
so the hair thing.
Oh, man, I thought I was gonna get this right. I did not.
Oh, you didn't?
I thought you were gonna pick Princess and the Frog.
Oh, okay. It's between those two. I think Tiana's probably like one.
Yeah, I know. I think recently, I know you've just really grown your love for Tiana in that movie, and but I will say, like, out of the 3 movies, we've probably watched Tangled the most.
Yeah.
And if it were me picking, I would pick Tangled as well.
All right. Well, I guess that's good to know. So.
Oh, good. Did I just give you an answer ahead of time? Oh, goodness.
So, for my 3 princess movies for you.
Okay.
Princess and the Frog.
Okay.
Tangled.
Okay.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh.
Because we've had this conversation.
We have had this conversation.
Vanellope is a Disney princess.
It is 100% canon.
But against those ones, which one do you pick?
It's difficult for me to answer this one. I'm assuming you mean Wreck-It Ralph 2. Because that's where we find out that Vanellope is a Disney princess, or she kind of
Yeah.
Or is it just Wreck-It Ralph in general?
I was just saying Wreck-It Ralph in general.
Okay, that makes it a little harder then, because between the 2 movies, I love Wreck-It Ralph, or YouTube Breaks the Internet.
Mhm.
But I think between the two films, I like the first one, the original
Yes.
one, better.
I know.
So if it was the first one specifically,
That's what I had put.
oh boy.
I mean, I know the second one is where, like, you know, she's in the room with the princesses, but I'm like, well, we already know she's a princess, so
And
yeah.
Tangled is, like you said, is so
Yep.
near and dear. I love Tangled. That is one of my comfort movies, one of my go-to movies.
Mhm.
Um,
So which one are you picking?
I'm going to pick Tangled. Only
Okay.
for the reason that if we're going based off that logic that you were going for the first Wreck-It Ralph movie, I still get to watch Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Okay, fair enough.
So that's my final answer is I'm gonna pick Punzi as well. I'm gonna pick Tangled.
Yep, and that is what I thought you would pick.
There you go. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that was a good one. That was a tough one too.
I thought so with Wreck-It Ralph in there, and I thought that, yeah, just like we've had that conversation before, and I'm like, I think that'll be fun to put in there.
Yes, good job. All right, so let's hop to our next category. This is going to be adventure movies.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with the obvious adventure movie because adventure is out there. We're going to go with Up.
Okay.
You can't. I think you knew that one was coming. My next adventure movie is going to be Raya and the Lost Dragon, or The Last Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Because they go on a very long adventure to find Sisu, and I think that was such a fun adventure movie. And then my last one, it's a very, got to be a little bit narrow-minded when you think of adventure, but we're gonna go with Toy Story 3.
Okay,
it's the ending of an adventure it was the ending of an adventure with all the toys.
Yeah.
And you go on an adventure through Sunnyside and going through that very final scene at the incinerator. It was such an adventure for Woody and Buzz and the rest of the toys here. So I put Toy Story 3 in here. So Toy Story 3, Raya, and Up are your three movies.
Okay, so for me, it comes down to Up and Toy Story 3. Not that I don't like Raya, because I do love that movie, but I think I have to go Up.
Cha-ching!
Yeah, I have to go Up.
I would too. It's such, like you said, it's such a hard thing knowing that you're not being able to watch those other two movies.
Yep. So I'm going with it. I'm going with Up.
All right, perfect. Points, 1 point to Tyler, even though they don't really matter here.
Points don't matter.
Points don't matter. All right. What are my adventure movies to pick from?
So, your adventure movies. Up.
Okay.
I think I just couldn't not put that in there.
Yes.
Okay. Second one, Jungle Cruise.
Ooh, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Emily Blunt.
That is like the epitome of an adventure movie.
That was a bold choice.
And National Treasure.
Ooh. We're gonna we're gonna save the Declaration of Independence by stealing the Declaration of Independence. God, that's so.
Oh yes.
This is tough. I will say just immediately off the bat, as much as I love that movie, we're gonna get rid of National Treasure.
Okay.
I don't think that it quite stands up the test of time between the other two. I'm sorry, Up, but I think I'm gonna go with Jungle Cruise.
No way!
I think I'm gonna go with Jungle Cruise.
For real? Is that your final answer?
The way you're looking at me makes me think that I shouldn't be. But
I mean, I'm a little surprised.
I am.
Actually, I'm a lot surprised.
No, if I had to watch one movie right now, I think I might go with Jungle Cruise.
That's fair. I mean, between those two, that would be really hard for me because I really love Jungle Cruise.
It's 1A and 1B, and they're interchangeable depending on the day.
Sure.
I think we've watched Jungle Cruise more recently, so that maybe that's why that's kind of in my mind.
Sure.
I love Up, but I'm gonna go with Jungle Cruise on this one.
All right, I did not win that one. I had picked Up for you.
That's such a tough one.
Yeah.
And I will say I immediately feel bad picking that, but I don't feel bad because I get to watch Emily Blunt and
Yeah, it's such a good
Dwayne the
movie.
Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
It's so good. And then like you said, that is the epitome of an adventure
Yeah.
movie. Like there's so much going on there, but they're not taking a house all the way down to South America for Paradise Falls. I don't know. I don't wanna think about it too much
Yeah,
because
it's
I'm just
okay.
gonna be mad at myself for not taking that one.
All right. So next one is favorite soundtrack. This one I think is going to
Oh,
be tough.
I think, to be honest, I think we might have the same movies
Oh, we might.
because three movies when it comes to Disney stick out in my mind that just have
Hmm.
the best soundtracks. Um,
Okay.
we'll
I'm
see.
ready.
Sammy, you can only pick one of these
Okay.
movies.
I'm kind of scared for this one. All right. I'm ready.
Encanto,
Okay.
Hercules,
Okay.
and Tarzan.
Oh.
The Phil Collins blessed musical that is
Oh gosh.
Tarzan.
Okay.
Go up against
Mm-hmm.
arguably one of the best Disney and Renaissance era films, if not the best one. And then the newcomer with Encanto with music by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh goodness. Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna get rid of Tarzan. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Okay. So Encanto and Hercules. This is really tough. I love Encanto and I love the music. So, but I mean, Hercules, like, I'm okay. I'm gonna go Encanto.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Are you sure that you?
Yes. If I could only like, well, and I guess it's not even. Then I can't even watch the movie. I don't. Okay. Yep. I'm going Encanto.
I thought
Yeah.
that you were going to pick Encanto.
Yep. That's my answer.
Yes, perfect. I agree with you. This was going to be a really hard category for both of us.
Yeah, we love Disney
I'm
music.
very nervous to see what you have picked for me. I have a feeling that maybe one of the two of these movies might be on your list too. But yes, so let's see what you got for me.
Okay. So, yes, I have Encanto.
Mm-hmm.
I have Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
I have Moana.
Ooh. Ouch.
Yeah.
You got Lin versus Lin in this category.
I know. I remember when Moana came out.
That's all
we listened to.
100%. That's all we listened to.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And see, the other part of me is that I don't want to get rid of Hercules just because I love that movie so much.
But I also know how much you love Encanto and Moana. Like those are all they're just great. So
I'm gonna first get rid of Moana.
Okay.
Just because between Moana and Encanto, I love the movie. I love the music of Encanto. It resonates a lot more with me. I can associate myself with Luisa a lot more than I could Moana in any of her songs, to be honest.
That's fair. Yeah.
So I'm going to get rid of Moana first, unfortunately.
Okay. I know this hurts because Hercules is your favorite just in general.
If I need a mood pick-me-up, if I need a good workout song, if I need something that's going to cheer me up, if I need something that is going to get me dancing, I'm going to turn to Hercules.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Hercules.
Okay.
But this is also on the idea of if we're watching these movies together, you've already picked Encanto, so I can still watch Encanto with you.
Hey, that doesn't work like that.
Okay, but my final answer is Hercules. I'm gonna go with Hercules.
I did get that wrong. I thought you would have leaned more towards Encanto for the music aspect, but it was hard for me because
that was a super hard one.
Yeah.
If we were going based just off of, I guess, and it's what this category is, music alone. But I think I have such a strong association with both of those movies that I think that also ties into how I answered. So I'm going to go with Hercules on that one. All right. Well, let's see here. Our next category is Disney Renaissance era. Those are the movies that we grew up with.
Yes.
They started in 1989 and
89.
went to
Little Mermaid.
1999.
Yep.
Started with The Little Mermaid and I think ended with like Mulan or Tarzan,
Yeah, I
something like
don't
that.
quote us on that.
Yeah, it ended with Tarzan.
Okay.
That's what it was. Those are like just the best movies. I mean, if millennials think of Disney movies, like those are the ones we
That's
think of.
probably what we're thinking of.
This one was difficult to choose just three of them, because of how I've placed other movies in other
Yeah.
categories. But I'm gonna have you choose between.
Okay.
This is also kind of side note, maybe a little bit of a princess redo as well, because they all have
Oh,
they all
okay.
have princesses in them.
Okay.
The Little Mermaid,
Okay.
Aladdin, and Mulan.
Oh. Okay, wait, one more time.
Little Mermaid,
Okay.
Aladdin, and Mulan.
Okay, this one is pretty easy. I thought you were gonna throw Beauty and the Beast in there, and I'd be like, Beauty and the Beast.
I had Beauty and the Beast in there at the beginning, and I'm like, not that I didn't want the easy point, but I wanted it to be difficult for you to. I didn't want you to have an automatic like, oh yeah, it's Beauty and the Beast, done and over. Let's go to the next category.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that didn't happen still with these three movies, but it sounds like it might be the case.
Yeah. It's Aladdin.
It's Aladdin.
It's Aladdin.
I picked Little Mermaid.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. She like. So I don't like dislike the Little Mermaid, but it's definitely not my favorite. So
Fair
yeah,
enough,
between those three, it would definitely be Aladdin.
I think Aladdin would probably out of these ones. I associate more with Aladdin just because I remember that movie growing up a lot. I think like I said, I'm pretty sure that was probably one of my first movies seeing as a kid. Yeah, I understand. I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
All right.
All right.
Let's see. You're 3. All right. Hopefully I didn't make this too. I don't know. I think this is pretty difficult because just knowing what you grew up with. So I have The Lion King.
Okay.
Aladdin.
Okay.
Beauty and the Beast.
What is Aladdin?
Okay.
That actually wasn't that hard for me.
Okay.
It's weird because like I have a love-hate relationship with The Lion King. I love the characters, I love the music, but I think when it comes to terms of the actual movie, I don't love it as much as the stage version.
Oh, okay.
So like when I think of The Lion King automatically, I think of the Broadway version.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I'm just kind of like, I'm not like, and I don't know if also with the live action version, if that had something to do with it as well, because I liked the live action version. It was a good movie, don't get me wrong. It just didn't hit well as good with me as the original animated did.
The Lion King?
Sorry, Lion King. Yeah, sorry, I'm talking about Lion King right now. My bad. So when I think about the Lion King in general, I think I like the stage version better, and I don't like the
live action.
As much as I do the animated. So I think between the three of them, that kind of waters down the animated version for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But then I really like Aladdin. I loved the live action version of that.
I think they did a really good job.
The stage version of that one, the Broadway version of that one is also really well.
Mm-hmm. So it's just like good, and good.
It's, it's 3 goods across the board. With Lion King, you've got like really awesome Broadway, really good animated, and then the live action is just kind of.
I did not like that one.
It's meh. But it's for me. So I'm gonna go with Aladdin.
Okay. And that's what I picked for you.
Okay, perfect. Aladdin. I figured you'd pick Aladdin for me.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so I think going through the first 4 rounds, we're tied. We both got 2 wrong and both got 2 rights.
Yes.
Good. Let's go with our final 4 categories here.
Yeah.
The next category is going to be animal-led or animal-centric movies.
Yes.
Speaking of animals, I don't know if you can hear this in the background. We got one of our little animals, little Lace, rolling around the set today right now.
Yes, she come to say hi.
Hi, Lace. All right, so your animal-led movies.
Okay.
I think I made this one very tough for you.
Oh gosh, I wonder what if we did the same ones.
Oh, I don't think we did the same ones.
Okay.
All right, so your animal movies are between The Rescuers.
Okay.
Oliver and Company.
Okay.
and The Great Mouse Detective.
We did the same ones.
Oh, did we do the same ones?
We did
Oh,
the
okay.
same ones.
Okay, so this is good. If we
Okay.
did the same ones, we can kind of go like a 3, 2, 1 and pick here.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. So let's just talk about them first.
Okay, sure.
So The Rescuers, I know you love The
I
Rescuers.
love The Rescuers. I love all these movies. We grew up on these.
And I thought about not doing these ones, but I'm like, these are the ones that you absolutely love. You talk about these all the time.
Yeah.
So I couldn't not put them in there. I think this one might be a little more difficult for you than it is going to be for me.
Yeah, and then that's why I wasn't sure, and that's why I did them for you, because I kind of thought about what you would pick, just based off like what we've watched together and stuff. But yeah, so I was just curious. So that's why I put those ones for you.
And then Oliver and Company, that was one that I don't remember watching like growing up. I think we probably had the VHS of it.
Sure.
But I remember we watched it during quarantine and just like reconnecting with like all the music from Billy Joel, which I think that's another good movie that has a really good soundtrack.
Yeah, that has a really good soundtrack.
And I love me some Billy Joel. So that was, obviously going to be on there. And then The Great Mouse Detective.
Yeah.
That was one I think you introduced me to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a good movie.
It is. They're all so good. It's really hard to pick just one. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of Oliver and Company.
Okay.
So then for me, it comes down to The Rescuers and The Great Mouse Detective.
And I have my film in mind. Do you have yours?
Yeah, I think I have it. Do you want to do a 3, 2, 1?
Yeah, I'll do a 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
3,
2, 1.
Oliver and Company.
Really?
I'm sorry, don't get mad at me.
No, I'm not.
This is another one where like you also got to remember, like, you also get The Rescuers Down Under. Because if you're getting rid of The Rescuers, you still have The Rescuers Down Under. So I think that maybe that's where I'm coming in. Where like I'm still gonna get to see Bianca and Bernard, but I think I'm gonna go with Oliver and Company.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going Rescuers.
And you hit with Rescuers?
Which makes me really sad to get rid of The Great Mouse Detective, because I really like that one.
It doesn't make me sad because I had her picking The Rescuers. So that's a point for me.
Yeah, and I guess I picked that you would pick The Rescuers just because because I knew you didn't grow up with them. So I was just kind of going based off what we had watched together, and I guess I didn't realize you liked that one as much.
I do really like. I think Oliver's so cute. It's such. I think Dodger's
it's
really
the
good.
Billy Joel music, isn't it?
Yeah, that has a lot to do with it.
Okay,
yeah, but so it's interesting to know. I knew that you were gonna pick The Rescuers. Though.
Yeah,
just how much you love those two. It's just it made total sense.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So the next category is magical movies or magic movies. I'm really glad that I'm not answering this one because I feel like I've got 3 very fun, awesome movies that you have to get rid of 2 of them.
Oh gosh. Okay. What are they?
The first movie is the newest Pixar movie, Turning Red.
Oh, okay.
A lot of ancestral magic going on there. Onward.
Okay.
And Coco. And I know right off the bat which one she's going to get rid of, and I know which 2 she's having the most difficult time with.
Okay, which ones are they?
Coco and Onward.
You are correct. Nothing against Turning Red. I think it's new, and
we haven't had a lot of experience with it.
Yeah, like I think we've just watched it the one time.
Once or twice, yeah, something like that.
Okay. So yeah, it's Onward and Coco.
Now, Onward was the movie that came out right before.
Yeah, that was the last movie we watched before the world shut down.
Yeah,
so we saw that like a week or 2 weeks before.
I think 2 weeks before, and then everything shut down. But I remember that was your jam. You loved that movie, and it was so nice that Disney put it on a Disney Plus
pretty
quickly afterwards for it. But it's gonna be hard for you.
Yeah, it just. Yeah, so I don't know. I just fell in love with Onward. I don't know exactly what it was. I think it was just different. Like, it felt different.
Mhm.
So I think it's just that Pixar magic. I don't know. It just yeah, it just really hit with me. Like, I just love it. But then Coco also, I think, kind of did the same thing. Like, when that came out, it was just so different, like nothing that we hadn't seen before, and just diving into all of the cultural, like, references and
Mhm.
all of that, and it's just beautiful.
Yes, I
So,
that
like,
is
it is
such
a
a beautiful
beautiful
film.
film to watch. Oh, goodness. I think so, based on, like, just having to watch one, I'm gonna go Coco.
Okay, that's what I thought you were gonna
Oh,
say.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know
Uh,
as much as you loved
I
Onward, and, like, you
loved,
watched that movie, like, all the
I
time, like, that
yeah,
was on repeat, kinda like how Encanto was at our house after it came out,
yeah,
it was on repeat
yeah,
24/7,
yep,
but, yeah, it's gotta be Coco.
yes, for sure, yeah, it just, yep, Coco wins. Oh, that was good.
Right,
Yeah, that
right?
was good. Okay, so mine for you are
Okay,
okay. I also have Onward,
okay.
Brave,
Ooh.
and Hocus Pocus.
This category is just a bunch of hocus pocus. That is such
So, I don't know how hard it is, but I think it's kind of fun.
so it's Hocus Pocus, Brave,
And
and
Onward.
Onward. Oh boy, I would never in my life imagine these 3 movies having to go up against one
Yeah.
another. Um, Goodness gracious.
And I honestly really didn't know which one you would pick.
Honestly, like, I don't even know which one I'm gonna pick. So I think right now my biggest concern or not my biggest challenge is just which one do I want to get rid of them first.
Okay.
Because then I think once I can get rid of one of them, it makes throwing one up a little easier. Um, well,
Making you think here.
yes, God, mean, we might need to take like a little time out here for me. My brain is hurting here with all this. Um, I think I'm gonna get rid of Brave first.
Okay.
Reason being, I think because between all 3 of those movies, it's the one with the least amount of magic that penetrates the movie.
Okay.
You have the wisps, but and like the spell that changes the mom into the bear.
Mhm.
But other than that, they're not like actively using magic throughout the entire movie.
Okay.
So that's the only thing I can go off of to like try to get rid of
Okay.
one of them. Is like which
Okay.
movie has the least amount of
Okay.
magic per se in it.
Sure.
I love Brave. It's such a good movie. I think if it was paired up against some of the other Disney princess movies, it probably would have a pretty good fighting chance. But in this case, I'm gonna get rid of that. So then
Okay.
it's down to Onward and Hocus Pocus.
Mhm. Which one you
Hmm.
picking?
Uh, I think I'm gonna go with Onward.
Okay.
Reason being is that I get really excited for and happy for Hocus Pocus only during a particular time of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
year. I don't really like see myself going out around Memorial Day and watching Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
But I can kind of watch Onward whenever, and that's also
Mhm.
a really good adventure movie. It's a very good sibling movie. It's got a really good message
Yeah.
in it, and magic is just prevalent throughout the entire film.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna go with Onward, but like I'm not 100% like good on any of like my decisions I just made.
That was kinda hard for
That
you.
was super hard for
Yeah.
me. And
Okay.
it's not so much hard that like there were like 3 movies I absolutely love and I can't get rid of any of them. It's just like, okay, which one like makes most sense to me?
Okay, yeah, and that's why, like, when I came up with those 3, I'm like, not that I mean, we love we like them, all
Yes.
3 of those,
Yes.
but compared to some other movies, they're not, like, always a go-to as of right now.
Yes.
So, that's why I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna go with it and see what you pick."
And they're all very like I guess other than Onward, because Onward was such a big film, but like I think the other 2 are like just very like underrated type of movies where like
Mhm.
when it comes to in terms of all the Disney princesses, like Brave is kind of like she's
Yeah.
from the other
She's
studio.
from the other studio.
I don't want to say she's forgotten, but like I don't think of her immediately when I think
Yeah.
of a Disney princess.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to Hocus Pocus, like it's a Disney film. It didn't get a whole lot of love,
No,
initially.
and I think it's just been within the more recent, like within like the last 5-ish years. It's
It's all of
definitely
it's all of us
gotten.
millennials
I
growing up and
know,
watching all
yeah.
these like Disney original movies, like Disney Channel original movies, and like really like owning them now.
Yeah, like, you kind of remember those, and then you forget, yeah, you kind of forget about them, and then you watch them again as an adult, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is good, it's really good, and we love it, and yeah, so I think it just really made a comeback with
Hmm.
us. So
And like I just
yeah,
think about Hocus Pocus, like especially like there's just so much to like love about that movie. Like I can't even think like between the Sanders and sisters, and you got Thackeray, and you got Billy, and you got the kid that lit the virgin who lit the candle. Like there's just so much to love about that movie.
Max Dennison.
Max Dennison, and then you got Ice. Oh goodness, we need.
Yeah.
I know
That's
it's like springtime, but maybe we do need to watch
yeah,
that
maybe me
movie.
too.
But if that's the case, then I need to revise my answer.
Okay. Well, do you need to, or are you sticking
No,
with
I'm gonna
Onward?
stick with that one. Did I get it
Okay.
right or wrong?
I got that right. I said
Yay!
Onward. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Onward. I love
Yeah.
Star-Lord and Peter Parker, our alien brothers. And then they've got Blazy, their little dragon
Oh,
dog, and that
yeah.
reminds me of Lacey, our little demon dragon dog. So.
Yeah.
All right, so we've now going to kind of turn the tides and full on into live action
Yep. Live
movies.
action's the next category.
Two of these movies I'm going to give you have already been discussed so far.
Oh, okay.
And then there's one additional
Ooh, I'm excited.
challenger. We're gonna go with Jungle Cruise,
Okay.
Hocus Pocus,
Okay.
and Mary
Oh
Poppins.
gosh. What are you doing to me?
Oh,
Oh boy.
yeah, I knew
Oh
this was a
gosh.
category that we added kind of late. Obviously, why it's number 7 of 8 on the
Yeah.
list. And I knew once this category came up, and I'm like, I'm gonna stump her so bad. Like to be honest,
Like, what would you pick in this
I can see your answer going 3 different
Oh
ways.
my goodness. Okay.
Which movie are you gonna get rid of? Maybe try to make it easier. You're never watching this movie
Oh
again.
gosh. That's so hard. Okay. So, hmm. Oh my goodness. Okay. I I think oh my okay. Sorry, I am thinking through this. This is tough for me.
So while you think about it, I'm gonna just kind of give everyone a little background on Mary Poppins here, because
Okay.
this was a movie that I never watched growing up.
No, I didn't either.
It was something that was definitely post Park that we got into. We started to
Yeah.
watch, and you really started to enjoy and have like personal feelings with Mary Poppins.
Yes, like I fell in love with that movie. And yeah, and it was as an adult, because I remember watching bits and pieces of it as a kid, and it just seemed weird to me. Like I just couldn't connect with it, and probably I didn't really take the time to
And I
sit
think
down and
even the
watch it.
first time that we just watched it together, I think we were both kind of like,
It's
"Oh, okay, so that's Mary
yeah,
Poppins." It
yeah.
wasn't like anything like we didn't like absolutely love it. We didn't absolutely hate it. It was just kind of like, "Oh, that's how it was." And then just being in the park, knowing how much it meant to Walt, watching it a little bit
Yeah.
more, seeing the sequel with Emily Blunt and Lin
Yes.
Manuel. I think that really,
Yeah, that, and I think watching Saving Mr. Banks,
yes.
just knowing, yeah, like you said, knowing how much getting this movie made meant to Walt, like I'm like, it means a lot to me too. Like I just, and
If it means something to Walt, it means something
yeah.
to us.
So just having that like emotional connection, it just, yeah, it really leveled up that movie as far as like having, yeah, that connection. So yeah, it's really hard to pick one of those, and I think okay, I think I have my answer,
Okay.
and it's only because you can only watch one of them. So, I think I'm going to pick Jungle Cruise.
Okay. Like I said, this was a category that I could see going either way. I
Yeah.
actually couldn't choose which one I was going to have you pick. I literally just did a randomized number online and just went with the one that I went
Oh,
with.
really?
Yes, I couldn't like this was like as much as you
It's
love Mary Poppins, and then you got the it's just how much the Hocus Pocus meant to us growing up, or not growing up so much, but like
yeah.
now, and how much like it's such like an underrated film. And then Jungle Cruise just came into our lives
And
recently, and we love the parks, so like that, I
yeah.
knew it was going to be difficult. I didn't want
Okay.
to answer this one.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm going. I'm going Jungle Cruise.
All right, I had you doing Hocus Pocus,
Okay. Yeah,
but
and I mean, really any of those. Like it's so like I don't know, maybe that's just me or us, but we just yeah, we love those and it's really hard to pick one, but if I have to, that's what I'm going with.
yeah. And then, like I said, you still have Mary Poppins too. So if you still want to get some Mary
Yeah, and I
Poppins,
guess I didn't really think about that when I was doing these knowing that we have like sequels or prequels or whatever
mhm,
to watch. So yeah, I guess that works too.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So my live action for
All
you.
right, give it to me.
I went like I had so many for these, but I settled on these three
Okay, what do I have to
because
choose
they're
from?
all a theme.
Which two am I getting rid of forever?
Okay. Mary Poppins.
Okay.
Mary Poppins Returns.
Okay.
Saving Mr. Banks.
Ooh, they're all Mary
They're all
Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Ah, I'm my gut instinct. I'm not even gonna overthink this. My gut instinct. I'm keeping Saving Mr. Banks.
Okay.
One being is that you're still getting the Mary Poppins general
Yep.
story with it. Um, Plus Tom Hanks as Walt Disney.
I
Like, how can you
know.
not?
I
And
know.
you got it's oh my god. Yes, I'm gonna go with Saving Mr. Banks.
Okay.
I love that movie.
And that's what I would have picked too. And that's what I had you picking was Saving Mr. Banks. I remember when we watched that one for the first time, again during quarantine, I was just like, how have we not watched this movie before?
Yeah.
It's
It's so good.
so good.
It's almost so good to the point where I almost had it in my best underrated
Yep,
film.
me too.
Just because I don't think a lot of people have seen it. I think it's something that you just I think it was geared more towards like people who had grown up going to Disney as a kid or had read the
hmm
book growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
So I don't think it definitely wasn't like marketed to little kids or anything. I don't know if a lot of people even know this movie exists, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and before watching this movie, I didn't know how hard Walt had fought to get Mary Poppins made and
Mhm.
how close it came to not being made.
And Emma Thompson just
Oh
plays a
my gosh,
fantastic
PL
PL
Travers.
Travers. So, yes, that actually wasn't as tough for me as I
I
thought it was
didn't
going to
think it was
be.
going to be. I just thought it was fun to put them all three in the same
Yeah.
category. So,
Like, so when you were like Mary Poppins, I'm like, okay, these are all Mary Poppins films, and I'm just like, oh, there's this one that like not a lot of people know about.
yeah.
Yes. So yes, you got that
So
one.
it's more of a fun category. I knew which one you would probably pick on that one. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to dive into our last category here. It's going to be underrated films. We've kind
Underrated.
of talked about underrated films a little bit here and there so far, but I have my 3 underrated films for you to choose from. You can
Okay.
only choose one of these.
Okay.
Brave.
Okay.
Again,
Yeah.
you know,
I see it. Yep.
not, yep. The Rescuers Down Under,
Okay.
and a Goofy movie.
Okay. Okay. I think I have I don't know.
Now, Goofy movie is something that we just
We just
recently
recently watched again.
we watched again. That is such a fun film. I don't I don't think really people kind of associate it with. I mean, it's obviously Disney property, but
Yeah.
like it's not like a Disney film that probably flies on everyone's radar.
Mhm.
But I love it
It
so
has some
much.
of the best songs.
Hmm.
Okay, this one okay. So Goofy movie, Brave,
And The Rescuers
and The
Down Under.
Rescuers Down Under. Okay. So I think I'm gonna get rid of The Rescuers Down Under. No, Brave. I think I'm gonna get rid of Brave.
Sorry, Merida.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay.
which is totally fine.
Yeah.
So
I'm just
then,
trying to think what makes a better underrated movie. And I guess, like, I would probably say it would probably be The Rescuers Down Under then.
okay.
Just because I think between the two, I think more people would know about, or at least, yeah, kind of know about a Goofy movie more.
And The Rescuers Down Under kind of it falls into a weird spot in Disney history that
Yeah.
it came after The Little Mermaid, which I don't think a lot of people would realize it was part of the Disney Renaissance. There was a sequel, but it came actually in the Disney Renaissance. So like I said, after Little Mermaid, but before Beauty and the Beast.
Mhm.
So like I think those two movies just get all the attention and all the
Yeah.
love there because I mean rightfully so. It's the Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, but then there was also this other little sequel
Yeah.
to kind of this
And it's one of
low
my
budget. Yeah,
favorites. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna go The Rescuers Down Under. I'm gonna pick that one.
and I had you picking The
Did
Rescuer.
you? Okay,
Yes, I
I
did.
almost went Goofy movie on that one, but in my heart, I think I have to, yeah, I have to go Rescuers. I just
Yeah,
have to, yeah.
you
Okay.
got you got to stick with the couple there. I get
Okay.
it, 100%.
Okay.
All right, so this is the last three movies.
Okay. I also had a Goofy movie,
Okay.
but there's also Enchanted.
Oh, with Emily or Amy
Yep.
Adams. Okay.
And
And McSteamy.
yeah,
Or is it McDreamy?
it's McDreamy.
McDreamy? I knew it
Yeah.
was one. It's mixed something. It's not.
And Big Hero 6. Good luck.
Okay. So to start off with, I think Big Hero 6 is such an underrated film only because when it came
Yeah,
out,
it was placed
it was
poorly.
such a good movie. I think if it was placed anywhere else outside the parameters of being within the year of Frozen,
Yeah, in the
it
shadow. It lives in its
it
shadow.
lives in the shadow. When you think of that time, like it's just Frozen, 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 and then Big Hero 6 was right there too.
Yeah,
It's
hey, we're
oh my
here.
god, Big Hero 6. It was so good. It's a Marvel property, which so it automatically has a little bit of a bump for me. I think I'm automatically gonna get rid of Enchanted.
Mhm.
I love that movie. I'm
Yeah.
so glad they're making a sequel of it. Um, that was a movie that you hadn't seen
No,
up
we just
until
watched
in the
that last year.
last year or so.
I
Yeah,
think it was. Yeah.
I remember seeing that not in the theaters. I remember after it came out like on DVD or whatever.
Mhm.
I remember seeing it in high school. So I'm gonna get rid of that movie just off the bat. But then it's a Goofy movie.
I
You've got
know.
Powerline. You've got just. I feel like I should be wearing my Powerline World Tour T-shirt right now.
Which
But
one are you
it's
picking?
got to be Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
100% it's got to be Big Hero 6. I just love Tadashi and Hiro, like their relationship. It's got Fred and Stan Lee is his
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
You've got Harry Baby. It's just I I will fight for Big Hero 6 to
Yeah.
get more love. I
Yeah.
love Frozen, don't get me wrong, but it's just Big Hero 6.
It just
It
doesn't
ultimately
give
lives in that shadow. It doesn't get the love that
yeah,
it
for sure. That's
truly
what
deserves
yeah.
because
It is
of
such a
Frozen.
good movie.
Yeah.
All right, and that's what I had you picking,
Okay.
was Big Hero 6.
So that means after a quick calculation, I correctly guessed 5 of them for you,
Okay.
and you guessed 5 of them for me.
Oh, okay.
So we're even.
Yeah.
There's a couple oddballs that came in through there.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say oddballs. They were all super good movies.
Yeah.
But just a couple movies that were just kind of like, oh god, I don't know how I'm gonna get rid of those.
Yeah, it's hard, like, when you just gotta pick one, but I think it just makes you think a little bit and,
Hmm.
yeah, like, what makes a really good movie, and I don't know, I just yeah.
I'm excited. Like this was really fun. I think we should maybe do something more like this, like another version of this
Yeah,
again.
this was super fun. It was it was fun like picking the movies to go into the categories because there were a few like the live action and the magic ones. Like I switched those like
Oh yeah, I was
so many
constantly switching
times.
them out there.
Because there were just so many different ones that could fit in like multiple categories, but I also like and we kind of like said this, it wasn't really like a rule, I guess. but we didn't want to like reuse movies.
Yes. So if
So
you notice through all the movies that we picked, we didn't reuse, or I didn't repurpose any of them, and you didn't
right,
repurpose any of
yeah.
them.
So
So
that
that
made it a little bit more challenging too, but I think it just makes it more fun.
Yes, but then that also means that there's a lot of other movies we
Yeah,
didn't
there's
get to or
so
pick.
many.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe we
Yeah,
should do this
I think we
again.
might do this again with some other like genre of movies, or yeah, I don't know. We'll figure something out. But this was super fun.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
and we would love to hear like what would you guys pick?
Are any of any of the movies that we picked are you mad about
Yeah,
those?
I
Like,
was
do you
gonna
got
say
your
I think we
opinions?
probably would make some people like upset or like fight for your movie. Like I think I don't think there's a wrong answer when it comes to picking your favorite because a lot of it you get just so emotionally invested in the movie or like a certain time in your life that you watch the movie. So it just like it's in your heart and
Yeah,
that's what you go with. And I just like I love to hear that from people. Like what movie are you fighting for? So
yeah. Let us know in the comments
yeah,
below.
we'd love
Maybe
to hear
we'll
from
throw
you.
something up on Instagram or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
let us know which ones that you thought we got right. Let us know which ones you thought we got wrong, and fight for the ones that you want to keep in the comments below.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Oh,
so fun.
that was so much fun. So, to end today's episode, we want to talk about the newest Disney movie. It's not a
Yeah.
Disney animation movie by any means, but it
Well,
is.
no,
It's not
like
Disney Animation Studios, or
yeah.
it's not Pixar Studios.
But it definitely has some animation in there.
There's a lot of animation in it. It's the new Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie. By the time you're watching this, we've already seen it on Disney Plus. It
Yeah.
just came on Disney Plus. But we definitely wanted to take a moment to discuss it and maybe give it a little bit of a star rating at the end of it.
Yeah.
We watched it last night. This movie's
Oh my
bonkers.
gosh, it's wild. It is so wild. I like from the trailer, I knew we were going to be in for a ride with this movie, but I don't know, I think it was like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride kind of
Yes.
thing. Like it was amazing. It was so good. It was just kind of mind-blowing. Is
And
that
there
like
was
too
a
much?
lot to take in, but like
Yes.
it was easy to follow still. So I guess the
Yeah.
premise of the film is that you're following Chip and Dale, primarily Chip after Rescue Rangers, the TV show, got canceled.
Yeah.
Um, Flash forward to today's day,
Mhm.
and there is some crime going on, and one of the Rescue Rangers, Monterey Jack, gets involved in some shady stuff,
And
and
he goes missing.
he goes missing. So it's up to Chip and Dale, who aren't really friends.
Yeah,
They're not really talking anymore with one
yeah.
another. It's up to them to finally reunite to bring back one of their closest friends from back in the
Yeah.
Rescue Rangers days. I don't want to get in too
Yeah,
many
I guess I don't wanna go
spoilers.
too spoilery, just because, like
If you haven't seen it yet,
yeah,
we
if you
definitely
haven't seen
want you
it
to
yet,
see it. This
I
is
definitely don't wanna be that person that spoils the movie for you,
But I
so
definitely do want to get into some of the cameos into this, and maybe some of the Easter eggs, or just some of the fun stuff
okay.
that came up with.
Yeah,
Just because this movie just had so
it packs
much.
a lot.
This was, I think it's easy to say that this was the Roger Rabbit for 2022. Like
Oh, that's fair.
if you think
Yeah,
of like
that's
Roger
really good.
Rabbit and like the interaction between humans and animation, and how like
Cartoons.
cartoons are really more have like their own like
Yeah.
sort of like separate life, or they kind of have their own like
Yeah.
once the animation ends, like they're still here doing stuff. um and it was so much fun. Chip is still in the old animated style
Yep.
from the Rescue Rangers days, but Dale
Dale.
got the CGI
Yeah.
workup.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to see just two different type of animation styles working with one another here.
Mhm.
A lot of great actors are in this movie. You've got John Mulaney and Andy Samberg are Chip and Dale, I believe. I don't quote me on that. I know Andy Samberg's in it.
Okay, yeah.
Keegan Michael Key is in it. Seth Rogen is in it. It's just a lot of
Jim Cummings?
Jim
Yeah.
Cummings, the legend Jim Cummings
Yep.
is in it. He reprises his roles, and there's I just I think that the way that Disney was able to get around with doing some of the stuff in this movie,
Yeah, it was
there's just some throwaway references to The Simpsons, Transformers, The Muppets, South Park, Beavis and Butthead. You just kind of see these small little glimpses here and there. It's so much fun. I can't recommend that movie enough. I would say that it was a pretty basic plot to the most part.
The plot was pretty basic, like you said, easy to follow, but the cameos and the Easter eggs is definitely what makes this movie.
I can remember just like we were watching it and I just had like my pillow up to my mouth and I was just laughing so much because I just couldn't contain just like,
oh, we just couldn't handle this movie.
How did Disney greenlight this? Like were they like, okay, it's just going on Disney Plus. We don't have to put it on the theater. Like they can have a little bit more liberty with what they're doing here. But like I just remember like even one part where they were kind of going in from like actual like Los Angeles to what looked like Main Street USA in Disney World or Disneyland. It was very bright and colorful and whimsical with all these different characters, and like they are literally crossing railroad tracks, and it says on a sign the wrong side.
Yeah,
I'm like the wrong side of tracks. I'm like, really, like, just come on. I love that movie. I'm really excited to watch it again. I think there's a lot of rewatchability into this movie.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you are the kind of person that likes to pick out the Easter eggs and just those couple second like little clips of things here and there, like, and you like to find those things in movies, like this is the movie.
This has it for you.
Yeah.
I just think even like the convention scene, Dale does these conventions because he's, a former actor.
Yeah.
And just in these conventions, you have so much. You've got like references to Rick and Morty, Pee Wee Herman, Marvel movies, Star Wars movies. Yep. There's a character I'm not gonna name right now, but he's a main. I wouldn't say a main character, but he's a main plot point.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw that, I'm just like, you've got to be joking me. Like, how did Disney skirted around all of this? It's just phenomenal. So definitely rewatchability. I'm definitely excited to watch it again. Stick around for the end. I don't think there's any post-credit scenes, but Post Malone sings the Rescue Rangers theme song.
Well, and like I just as they're going through the credits, like just their funny like pop-up things here and there, like it doesn't end at the end of the movie. Like
it keeps on going.
It keeps on going through the credits. So it was so fun. It was just a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, so definitely Team Unicorn approved.
Yes, Team Unicorn approved.
I would probably give it how many stars? How many
unicorn horns?
How many unicorn horns can we give this? I would say probably like a 7.5 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10.
I was saying 8. That's the number that popped into my head, was like an 8.
I think there was places to improve. I think there was places where things kind of got a little rushed. But I think overall, in general, it was such a fun movie. You're going to have a blast.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like it can appeal to many audiences. Like
to the point where like we love Chip and Dale. I never watched Rescue Rangers growing up.
No, I don't really remember watching that. No, I don't.
But this was definitely a movie.
But I love Chip and Dale.
Yeah, and you needed no prior knowledge of what was going on here. They mapped it out very, very well in the beginning of the film, what happened with Rescue Rangers. There's a lot of exposition about how Chip and Dale met. So you don't really need to know anything about Chip and Dale or the Rescue Rangers in general to understand this movie. It's so much fun. I just hope it doesn't get bootlegged. All right. Well, so thank you so much for watching or listening to today's episode. We definitely appreciate all the love and support that you guys give the Team Unicorn podcast.
Yes, thank you so much.
Again, if you have any comments, suggestions, leave it down in the comments here.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, you can also send us an email at teamunicornpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram for all the different updates. We're on Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon Music. We're excited to see where this goes. I definitely want to play this game again.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll definitely see what we can do and come up with some fun, unique themes for next time here.
Absolutely.
So for the Team Unicorn podcast, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Sammy.
And it's been magical.